Good morning. We are ready for a Kansas City versus Dallas Week 11 kickoff. And it looks like we are underway. We poke into the game here. Start off with an Ezekiel Elliott run for 7 yards. Important game for both teams. Both teams would undoubtedly, if you ask them, like to be in a better position in the standings than they are right now, with some pretty high expectations coming in. Neither team has collapsed in any way, shape, or form. They're very much in it. But we'll take a look at the standings in a second. You'll sort of see that probably hoping for a little bit more than they are right now. And this is an opportunity today to get one of those games back that they might have let slip away earlier in the year. Here's a long pass on second down, 29 yards. Guessed wrong to CeeDee Lamb. Dallas does like to go deep. I don't have all the teams up in the league, but I followed the division, and there's some buys, that distort the division, meaning my division, the AFC West. There's some buys that distort these numbers, but if Dallas was in the AFC West, they would lead the division in long pass attempts. So there you see a quick long pass attempt. I mean, incidentally, they also be last in the division in short pass attempts, by the way, by a pretty large number. So I like to go deep, but not short that much. It's 1st and 10 now from the Kansas City 40. That was a completion on Dak Prescott's card. Here's a linebacker, Elliott, 6 yards. We're going to make a little change to our setup here. We're going to share the entire screen. Okay. 2nd and 4. From the Kansas City 34. Long pass, the driver of this drive so far for Dallas. Just starting out here, 13-12 left, first quarter. Flat pass, Dalton Schultz. There is a 4 there. Guessed right. He's going to get 2 yards, doesn't fumble. So that sets up a 3rd and short for Dallas from the Kansas City 32-yard line. Blocking back formation. Let's see here. Okay, so it's a 4-2-5. That means if Kansas City wants to stop the linebacker, they pretty much have to sell out. But, not facing a 3 wide, so not so much. They have 2 unoccupied safeties here as a result of the blocking back formation. So Mike Hughes can move up, and Juan Thornhill can move up and around. If it was 3 wide, then Hughes would be occupied, right? And they'd have less wiggle room. Here's an off tackle to Elliott, and he's going to get 7 yards, pick up that 3rd and short to the Kansas City 25, 1st and 10. Stepping away for just a second. Okay. We're back. 1st and 10. Didn't miss a beat. Trying to get this pass rush up, but Harlan keeps on beating me to the punch with formations. We'll get it up shortly. Back again versus that 4-2-5. And we've talked about this in previous broadcasts. I mean, one of the main reasons for Kansas City to do this is because of the 0 in the middle. Short pass, Cooper. That rare short pass for Dallas is thrown and completed to the 14-yard line. 1st and 10. Nice looking opening drive. Kansas City has, and coach and commissioner Tim Urban has commented with frequency about difficulty getting out to good starts for Kansas City. I don't have a statistical analysis for that for you on that. We'll just trust Tim on that one. that has had trouble getting out of his own way on offense and defense to start out. And here you see a 3-3-5 against this blocking back formation, which puts KC in an even more perilous situation against the run here. They're going to put two linebackers into the off tackle zone to get one. And there you see a guest strong run for 6 yards, 2nd down and 4 from the 8-yard line. Blocking back against that 4-2-5. Elliott stays in as the back, as you'd expect this year. Might be a little different next year. Linebacker Elliott. It's occupied, but guess wrong. Goes the defensive card, where Kansas City would like it to go in that situation. Now we've got a key 3rd and short. Can Kansas City salvage the drive here and just give up 3 points? That would be quite the victory for these Chiefs if they can pull that off. Too tight formation. So no upgrades along the line, but you see you don't need many along the right side of that Dallas line. They're maxed out at 6. We'll check injuries in just a second as well. It doesn't look like there's any there. Linebacker Elliott. It's guessed right. Linebacker in zone is going to make the play. Thornhill's a 4, and it's a 4 white die, so it sets up a key 4th and 1. It's a full house backfield for Dallas. Blitzing 4-3. Middle linebacker is an 0-4. That's who he usually replaces when he goes into that 4-2-5. So you see him on the field here, Anthony Hitchens. Linebacker Elliott, it's guessed right. It's a 2-yard gain and a 1st down to the 3-yard line. Boy, a lot of opportunities there for Dallas not to pick it up, but a lot of opportunities to pick it up as well, including that +1 on 6, which is a nice feature. Not everybody has that. Some have even a +1 on 7, depending on the card, but Elliott is slightly better than chalk runner there on linebacker guessed right. Slightly better, and it pays off with the gain. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line now. Short pass, guessed wrong. Touchdown. Dallas, an opening drive, took about 6 minutes. And now it's up 6-0. Greg, the leg Zuerlein on for the extra point attempt. And it is, as we wait the play call, some comments here among the coaches. It's no good. So 6-0 is the score as Zuerlein misses on 2 through 10. There's a little bit of silver lining for KC to start it out. Let's see here. They don't have the return threats they had last year in terms of home run threats. Doesn't much matter as Zuerlein kicks a touchback. And now here comes Patrick Mahomes. And we'll take this opportunity here to take a look at overuse and injuries, if we can, if we click the right one, which we didn't. 3 wide set for KC coming out here. Everybody's available. Look at that. That's a little bit suspicious, isn't it? Making sure that everybody used their proper pre-file. We'll check that in a second, and if we can be one of the few reasons we'd ever interrupt a game. Short pass, Tyreek Hill. 4 men in zone. Incomplete. Let's just check a look at the injury report here. Make sure it shows us clean there. And if it does, then we'll let it be. Clean there for Dallas and clean for Kansas City. So, like, it's legit that neither of these teams have an injury. Just a quick look. Yeah, I don't see anything. Good. Okay, we come back to a 2nd and 10 after the incompletion to Hill. 4 men were in zone. Again, 3 wide. Off tackle Darrell Williams. He's just going to get 2 on the 1 white die. 3rd and 8. KC has come in with an offense that feels like it flat passes a lot, but it really hasn't. Small ball percentage of just 65%. That means runs and flat pass combined, which is below league average. We have 3.26 here for KC, letting McKinnon run. McKinnon low use. He's in there primarily for blocking. He can also be Yackett. You see his 5 block. And to call off the dogs in terms of the blitz. Short pass. McKinnon, 11 yards, first down. Mahomes does what he's supposed to do and saves the day on the 3rd and long thanks to his short pass card. Talked about the short and long pass attempts of Dallas. Well, Kansas City is elevated. It'll be second in the division plus Dallas at 175 so far this year in short pass attempts. So markedly higher than the Raiders, Chargers, or Dallas. Off tackle draw to Williams. Just gets 2 yards. No linebackers there. Pretty good run defense for Dallas. Long pass attempts. Kansas City comes in just 1 behind Dallas in the competition among these 5 teams. Again, this is just looking at the AFC West plus Dallas. And remember, buys come into play as well. Kansas City really has not done much in the running category. I'm talking about small ball. There's not been many running attempts. There has been some decent amount of flat pass attempts. 3 wide against nickel. KC with 191 run attempts coming into the game. Linebacker draw to Darrell Williams, loses a yard. He gets that one again, setting up again a 3rd and 9. So 2 attempts here by Kansas City to run on 2nd and long, have both fallen victim to the 1 white die. And Mahomes is now going to be put in position to have to bail him out again. Three wide versus 3-2-6. The left guard, who's a 3, he would be facing Micah Parsons here. Why is Algretti in? Why isn't short pass McKinnon? Let me check this out here. He's flushed. Needs 9. Gets 8. 4th and 1. From about midfield. Decision time for Kansas City. So Joe Tooney could be in at left guard in that situation. Instead, you had Algretti. At least I think that's what we saw. Sometimes you see that before the positions are sort of locked in, and the CM is just throwing those guys in. We'll double check as the game goes along here. 4th and 1. Tim Irvin taking his time on the decision, which we understand. Does not have the best set of backs to handle this, but one of them would be Edwards-Helaire, who I really like his guest right running along the outside, especially in end runs. Less likely that those gaps are going to be occupied by linebackers if you go to Edwards-Helaire along the outside, and he's got a nice guest right running card there. So let's see here. If I had to call it here, I would be going and run left to Edwards-Helaire. He's going to go linebacker Darrell Williams. There is a man there. And he gets his 1 yard. First down. Williams toughs it out. Nice job, KC. 1st and 10 from their own 48. Off tackle, Darrell Williams. Guessed wrong. Free safety moved down to the short pass zone there. Short gain. Williams going to pick up 15. And now KC's in business. Up to the Dallas 37. Dallas tends to leave their free safety back, averaging 0.9 men in zone long pass when a long pass is thrown, which is up at the top of the league, as you'd expect. So you don't see much safety blitzing. Okay, here we see Tooney in with the full lineup in, so maybe that just is a aberration via the CM. 1st and 10. Sticking with 3 wide, Edwards-Helaire stays in the game at halfback. Linebacker, Edwards-Helaire. He's going to lose a yard with the 1 die coming up again, and I'm sure Coach Irvin's frustrated with 3 appearances of the one die so far, but has overcome the first 2 to be in scoring position here. Just got to overcome another one. 2nd and 11. Too tight this time. Bell checks into the game, brings in a 5 blocker. Darrell Williams is your back. This Dallas defense not afraid to call run. Calls run 32% of the time overall, which is a pretty big number. Depends on who you play. You play the Eagles a lot, Here's a double team. Kelsey. It's correctly sniffed out. Incomplete. And now we have another 3rd and long. Harlan comes into the game with 95 double team attempts. That's about half the amount the Kansas City double teams. 3-2-6. This time showing a blitz against Darrell Williams, who's a 4. So a downgrade there from the 5 of McKinnon in the backfield. Short pass to Marcus Robinson. Blitz is coming. It is going to be an incompletion. Diggs is a 6. And the 4 white die means Bucker likely to make an appearance here. Bucker can hit this. He's good up to 39, 2 through 7, 12. So he's got room for a little bit of variable field goal risk before he gets knocked out. And he trots onto the field. Bucker gets knocked out. Wait a minute. Yeah. Due to a false start. So 4th and 16. Townsend on. 20-yard kick. Not what you're looking for. And what looked like a promising drive for KC really does not turn out well. Can't even pin Dallas deep. So frustrating start again for the Chiefs. Down 6-0 here. 3:36 left first quarter. Too tight. Pollard now into the ball game. Kansas City's done an exceptional job. First down here. Pollard, 7 yards. 1st and 5. Dallas has done an exceptional job of keeping the defenses off balance on first down. Just 47% of the time have defenses guessed Harlan correctly on first down. It's got to be up top of the league, certainly the top among these 5 that we're looking at. The next was Denver at 59%, so 12 percentage points separate. Just a nice job on offensive play calling. But in that case, that 7-yard gain is wiped away, and instead a 5-yard gain is chosen via the penalty to make it 1st and 5 from the 28-yard line. Too tight again with Pollard in the backfield. We make the play call. It's a flat pass to Pollard against that 4, guessed right, incomplete. On the defensive card, makes it 2nd and 5. Pollard stays in. 4-2-5. Again. You see those 2 safeties both bring you a 4-4, where that linebacker has a 0 against the pass. So just another reason why you see that 4-2-5. Long pass. Man is back. Chris Jones has a chance of a sack. He's also guessed right. He's going to be flushed and gets 7 yards. And that's enough for the first down. Frank Clark came up against Tyrone Smith, which is a 0% chance of a sack. So once a completion or interception was not established on the passer's card, it reverted to the flat pass 0 end since it went to the defensive card, and you see the 7 yards. Elliott back in the ballgame. 2:42 left, first quarter. Dallas from their own 35, 1st and 10. Looking pass. Schultz. He's going to pick up 8 yards with nobody in zone. Nice first down. Yes, strong play again for these Dallas Cowboys. Keeping teams on their toes. Interestingly, overall guessed right. Dallas is up at 58%. First down at 47. So it's really first down where Dallas has been seeing opportunities. Line buck, Tony Pollard. It's guessed right, but it goes to the right place. And that is on the defensive card. And Jaron Reed could not make the play. So that's a first down for KC now up toward midfield at the 49-yard line of Dallas. 1:30 left here in the first quarter. Too tight against this 4-2-5. Short pass Cooper. It's guessed wrong again on first down. It's 11 yards. Up to the KC 40. 1:12 left now. Dallas putting together another drive. This their second possession of the game. First one was a long touchdown drive, which included a key 4th down conversion deep in Kansas City territory. This drive has yet to even face a 3rd down conversion attempt. And now goes to 3 wide, 2 running backs, so you can get some significant downgrades across that offensive line when running. Everybody's downgraded. There's nobody who's a 0 there. Flat pass, CeeDee Lamb against the 4. He's going to get just 2. See that +2 on Yak, which is nice for Prescott. Makes it 2nd and 8. So looking pass on the last flat pass attempt for Dallas. Dallas usually prefers on offense to throw in the flats, throwing look-ins just 20% of the time, which is quite low. Throwing in the flats for whatever reason, likely defender situations and whatnot, but just a low propensity to look in pass zone. But there's reasons to against Kansas City, especially when you face that 4-2-5 with regularity. And run, Pollard. It's guessed wrong. He's just going to get a yard. So now we've got a 3rd and 7 for Dallas from the 37-yard line. Zerline, he extends out to the 39, but he's 2 through 5 there. It's the sort of kick that you'd not want to. A short pass to Wilson. Incomplete. So here's the decision. Sort of 2 through 5 thing is not the sort of kick you want to have in the middle of the half, maybe toward the ends. So you might see a 4th down attempt here, or you might see him try to pin him. Let's see. Everything's on the table here, including the field goal attempt. It's not off the board. 2 through 5 is not bad. He's going to punt it. So we've got on the 37-yard line a coffin corner coming, and it's going to go exactly 37 yards. So Kansas City gets what it needs. Both teams unsuccessfully kick coffin corners. And Kansas City gets a fresh start here and a fresh quarter. 15 minutes left as we start the second quarter. And it's a 6-0 Dallas lead. Darrell Williams starts out as your halfback for the Chiefs in this 2 tight formation with Bell on the field. You see a blitzing 4-3 here against Williams again. So we didn't see that free safety move very much historically here, but Dallas showing some willingness at least to float the idea of getting that free safety moving around. I'm sure take note. Short pass Williams, lots of blitzers coming. He gets it off, but it's picked. With only 3 men in zone, here's Trayvon Diggs. The All-Pro is on the return. and he gets 11 yards. So there's a 16% chance as Carlos Watkins faced Tooney of a sack. That came in at 23. Everybody else would have had the sack, but it was that one matchup out of 6 that was not the sack, which meant we moved to the pass, and that's where Mahomes threw the interception. Dallas has a nice interception card. It's just 3 men. That's not a bad INT. Diggs pulls it in, and on the very last reading, I think on that 5, 2 through 5, 11, 12, that's pretty good. And now Dallas is in position here at the KC 24 to take a two-score lead. On first down, incomplete. Long pass was guessed right. Man was back there. Nicely called by the Kansas City defense. Second down and 10. Chris Jones perhaps was looking to apply pressure. Doesn't show in the scroll. Second and 10. 3 wide now with Clement in the backfield for Dallas. Flat pass to Clement, and he just picks up 2 yards on his weak flat pass right card. Boy, he's got 8 yards of losses and 11 yards of gains, so not much doing there for Clement. It's a yak of E as well. 3rd and 8. KC, can they get a quick 3 and out here and come away with the field goal attempt after the Mahomes interception? Short pass, Lamb. He's doubled up. It's complete for 11 yards. Prescott hits the number. Up to the KC 11-yard line. 1st and 10. Blocking back formation with Elliott. Blitzing 3-3-5. Short pass. Lamb. Blitzer's coming. Incomplete. Possible penalty. Intentional grounding is called on Prescott. That'll make it 2nd and 20. Big penalty there. Dallas, looking at their penalty card, should be a little bit better than 50-50 in their favor. Off tackle Elliott just gets 1. So we take a look at our first look at the standings here. See, Dallas is at 4 and 5. Giants lost this week, so Dallas has to be some renewed optimism in Cowboy land. You see, the opponents have had 70 penalties and Dallas 55 to date. Now facing this 3rd and very long from the 20-yard line. 3-2-6. Kicker is 2-3-12 from the 23-yard line, then up to 2-10 in this range. 2-11 at the 12. So not much in terms of upgrade to be had by getting to the 12-yard line. Some kickers, it's a pretty significant upgrade. Not in this case. It's a draw to Elliott. He's 19. Going to get 18. Oh, my. Might get held up a little bit. No, won't get held up. There's no contain there. So it's a 4th and 1 from the 2. You might see Dallas go for it here. They do. The worst idea to have KC start off at their own 2-yard line here. 12-18 left. Obviously, massive play in this game. It's Elliott and Pollard in the backfield. Schultz at tight end. Could have a blocker there. Doesn't. Jarwin is your blocking back. Linebacker. Elliott. This time, he can't get there. And no gain. Last time he found the +2. This time he finds the no gain. Really looking for the KC defensive card. But both times on these 4th down attempts, it has gone to Elliott's card. And he's 1 for 2. And a key stop there for KC. Still down just 6 points with 12 minutes left here in the second quarter. Now starting out from the 2-yard line. Gore is your back. He is another low usage back with just 51 attempts. But he has a nice average of 5. Off tackle Gore. It's guessed right. 2-yard loss will do him in. But he gets the 2-yard gain and a penalty. He'll take that penalty. Almost hits this 2-yard loss sitting right there. Now KC with some meaningful breathing room. Sets up as 3 wide now. A blitzing 3-3-5 coming up against Darrell Williams. See Tooney in the game. Here's Parsons. He has no coverage responsibilities. Long pass, Tyreek Hill. Blitz coming. Power versus power. It's a long gain, 76 yards. Tyreek Hill connects. We had a 32% chance of a sack. 67 comes in. Reverts over the Dallas long pass 0-men card. And the Chiefs burn them for 76 big yards. Now at the Dallas 17-yard line, 1st and 10. Three wide. Non-blitzing 3-3-5. Flat pass, Hardman. Man is there, guessed right. Hardman gets a short gain, 1 yard short of a touchdown to this 1-yard line, 16 yards for Hardman. Makes it 1st and goal. Kansas City has a chance to take the lead here. It's Gore and Williams. It's a linebacker to Mahomes. Mahomes scores. Creed Humphrey makes the block. We are tied at 6. Buck around for the extra point. And the kick is good, but there's a running into the kicker, so this will count as Kansas City will accept it on the kickoff. 2 yards deep is Corey Clement. Opts for a touchback. 10:30 left, first half. Kansas City leads 7-6. 98-yard touchdown drive, highlighted by the 76-yard pass from Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, many tales from Coach Irvin about the inability to get Tyreek Hill going this season. Not that he's double-teamed a lot. He is, but beyond that, just not connecting with him, even when the opportunities are there. Well, maybe that turns it around. There's that rare-looking pass, and it goes to Cooper. Incomplete. On Prescott's card, guessed right. 2nd and 10. See Kansas City situation in the AFC West, sitting in last place currently at 4-6, but we shouldn't despair too much. We'll talk about that in just a second. 3 wide now, shotgun against 3-3-5. Elliott is the back in this 3 wide. Short pass to Malik Turner. 4 men, guessed right. It's a pass interference call against Kansas City off the incompletion. 1st down for Dallas up to their own 40. 9:54 now left. So take a look. I mean, the most telling report for Kansas City is a scoring comparison. So 4-6. And at this point in real life last year, they had lost already 4 games. And now they had started their winning streak. Well, that's what KC needs to do now, is get on a winning streak. 3 wide, 2 running backs against the 4-2-5. It's a linebacker, Elliott. Nobody home, guessed wrong. Gets a short gain, 18 yards. Big gain into Kansas City territory to the 42. 1st and 10. So, I mean, they finished the year 12-5 to Kansas City in real life. So you're not going to get to that level, but you got a chance here. Kansas City can turn it around. Not been trending too far behind what KC did in real life, as they got off to a slow start last year. As I said, this is when they turned it on. This is when the winning streak really got going. And That's what needs to happen in the USFFL here. Off tackle, Elliott. Guessed wrong. Blocking back is not there. Mike Hughes will be out for the rest of the game. So for KC, the loss of Hughes is not particularly significant. Easily replaced. He's a 4 nickel cornerback, but there's another one on top of Hughes in the form of Jerry Sneed. So perhaps this would only hurt when going to a dime. Walking back is Elliott, with McGovern in front of him. Not Jarwin. Off tackle, Elliott. Guessed wrong. 7 yards. Keeps on hitting that 7-yard number. 3rd and 2 at the KC 34-yard line. Dallas trying to take the lead back as we approach the halfway point here of the second quarter. Too tight. It's Schultz and Sprinkle this time as your tight ends. Elliott in the backfield. 4-2-5 for KC. Watch those 2 unoccupied linebackers for KC. Sorry, DBs. One doubles up, one goes to the flats. Linebacker Prescott, he gets 4 yards. And it's a first down to the KC 30. First and 10 for Ezekiel Elliott as the halfback. And Prescott, of course, having a decent game so far. Looking to lead Dallas back to some points here after these last few drives have fallen short. Always move the ball. There's a long pass, Cooper. Nobody's back there. Guessed right. It goes to a flush. Clark with a 0% chance, and it's a 23-yard gain down to the 7-yard line. So a big play. CeeDee Lamb makes the catch. And it's first and goal from the KC 7-yard line. 6:54 left. Dallas just relinquished the lead, trying to get it back. Blocking back formation. Staying in the 4-2-5. Off tackle. Nobody's there, and that's going to be a touchdown. Nobody home. The one unoccupied zone in the middle. As KC elected to cover the end run zone there, results in a 15-yard gain. Probably would have been a 2 or 3-yard gain if a man was there, if I had to guess. Let's see here. 2 yards. So the empty zone makes the difference, and it's a touchdown for Dallas. Back in the lead. Decides to kick it here. Attempt to make it 13-7. 2 through 10 is our line. The extra point this time is barely good on the 10. So KC takes possession. They also get the ball to start the third quarter. 6:36 to work with here to try to get the lead back. Or just even get a field goal if you can run down some clock. But running down clock is not really KC's specialty. Edwards-Hilaire in the game. KC, when they run, have been guessed right only 14% of the time. Nobody's close to that among the 5 teams that we're looking at. Next is Denver at 20. Surprised Denver's so low, honestly. 3 wide versus 3-3-5. Five pass, Hardman. Incomplete. Second and 10. Dallas with the completion on 4 and 12 You see different flat pass one-man cards spot up different ways. This is one of the better constructed cards from a defensive standpoint. No completion on 5 or 6, and no completion on 10. You see the loss, though, coming on 11. A lot of losses sit on 10. I think overall, Dallas has a pretty nice looking card there. 2 through 4 on that 2 for those 2 yards as well is a bit low. So, pretty nice looking card. Short pass Hill. He is double teamed. And Hill is picked off. No flags down. Here comes Trayvon Diggs again, his second interception. This time, Diggs. Yes, Diggs fumbles, and the Cowboys recover. At the 17-yard line, I think Harlan will be happy just to sit on this one, and he does. So first down and 10. Opportunity there for KC to get it back after Mahomes' second interception, a well-deserved interception by the Cowboys on a correct double team by Coach Harlan McClain. Gives Dallas the opportunity here with 6 minutes left to expand the lead. We're back to pretty much where we were not too long ago, where the most of this game script has been playing, which is Dallas with a 6-point lead and trying to expand it. Mahomes flipped the script on the 76-yard pass to Hill, but now, because of the second interception, we find ourselves back in this sort of same situation. The script has been flipped again. Flat pass, Schultz. Gonna look for some yak. Gets it. 9 yards on first down. 2nd and 1. Now inside the 10. Flat pass taken away. Draws taken away. Dump off taken away. Lots of things taken away. Full house for Dallas. The KC linebackers can crowd the line of scrimmage. Cooper's up against the 5. Schultz up against the 6. It's a good coverage scheme for KC. Off tackle, Pollard. He's going to get 5 big yards. That's a really nice gain to set up a 1st and goal at the 3. I wasn't looking for just 1 yard there and 1st and goal from the 7. To be that far out. Instead, sets up a very attractive 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Again, full house. 4-2-5 blitz for KC. Short pass. Guessed wrong. Cooper can't bring it in. It was a comes in on the interception split, which is 2 through 5, 12. KC almost gets bailed out. Hands are on the helmet. Wishing they would have brought that one in. Instead, 2nd and goal from the 3. Again, full house. 4-3 blitz now for Kansas City. Schultz in as the tight end. Off tackle, Pollard. He's going to score. Possible injury and possible... Okay, so he scored, but there was a pre-snap penalty. Makes it 2nd and goal from the 1 because the penalty was on Kansas City. The 1-1-1 possible injury to the quarterback. He would have been out until the second half. He would have lost Dak Prescott right here for the remainder of this half. But because there was no play, there's no injury. Or is there? There's Cooper Rush. So you don't see, that's a very interesting. You see Cooper Rush just checked in. You don't see a scroll here that says he's been injured for the half. You also see that the play didn't even happen. Linebucker Rush, he's going to score. So Cooper Rush comes in. He's got a decent fumble at 2.3. And yet the player gets injured. Again, just until the second half. That's our best read on it. Let's take a look here just to make sure the injury report also concurs. If we can get a look at it. That's interesting. Must be out of sync here. There you go. So Dak Prescott injured for the first half. Okay, so he's coming back in 4 minutes. Behind all of this, and perhaps above all this, Dallas gets a key touchdown now to be out in front 20-7 after the made extra point by Zerline. 4:30 left in the half. And you see here, Gestak is injured. Yeah, he is, Harlan. And a very interesting strat scroll. Right? The play didn't happen. Well, I guess it did happen, right? But it didn't. So that's how Strat actually reads that. And I think that's really important too. I've seen it out on the forums and other places where they say Strat just shouldn't show you the result of the play if there's a pre-snap penalty. But there's your case to do it, because Strat's going to make the assumption that the play actually goes enough in motion where an injury can occur. And that's exactly what happened there. So there's the retort by Stratomatic as we see it in the scroll. On first down, Michael Burton makes a block. And as a result, Edwards Hilaire gets 9 yards out to the KC 34-yard line, 4:12 left in the half. KC trying to work its way into this deficit, perhaps put themselves in a position to take a lead when the second half starts. Again, Kansas City will take the third quarter kickoff. Looking for a chance to double up here. 2nd and 1. End run again to Edwards Hilaire. This time guessed right because of the one die. But do you see that good guess right running from Edwards Hilaire on that end run? And he gets 2 yards and a first down. +5 on 8, +2 on 7. Nice. That's some chunky losses, but if you need a yard, so not, especially on a 4th down where you may not care about the loss of the yards as much. In any case, 1st and 10, long pass. Pringle, man is back there. Guessed right. It's incomplete on Mahomes' card. Possible penalties waived off. 2nd and 10 for KC. So KC taking a shot. You saw the man back there, which Dallas typically has. 2nd and 10 now from the 36. Again, Dallas averages 0.9 men in zone when a long pass is thrown against them. So does Kansas City, by the way. Short pass, Robinson. He's not double teamed. That's a completion for Mahomes. 13 yards up toward midfield. 2:42 left in the half. Yeah, KC also sitting at 0.9 against when a long pass is thrown against the Chiefs. And that's largely explained, I think, by, in both these cases, by the sub-optimal long pass zero men card that both of these teams have. They just have to protect that zone. We saw the one time Dallas did not protect it today that Kansas City took advantage with the long gain. 1st and 10. Williams is your back in this 3-wide set. 2:42 left, first half. Long pass going back to Pringle. A man is back there again. Very high INT for Dallas, by the way. Incomplete. Possible penalties and offside against Dallas. You see a 2-11 pick there for Dallas with one man in zone. So dangerous throwing against this team deep when Harlan stays back there as much as he does. That interception looms. Let's take a look at Dallas's interceptions for and against. Interceptions 10 compared to 6. So Dallas is +4 coming into this game. Has picked up another 2. Flat pass, Darrell Williams. He's going to get 3 yards, and that's it. Makes it 2nd and 2. So it's +6 on the yak, but that -3 from Mahomes comes into play. 2nd and 2 from the 43 with 2:06 left. Last play before the 2-minute warning. Kansas City has all of its timeouts. So does Dallas. Three wide. Non-blitzing, 33-5. Edwards Hilaire in the backfield. It's an off-tackle to Edwards Hilaire. It's guessed wrong. He's going to get 6 yards. That takes us to the warning. 1st and 10 for KC at Dallas's 37-yard line. KC has the entirety of its playbook open to it, can do whatever it wants. Here, time simply not a factor. Dallas, however, has in the back of its mind that maybe it will be able to squeeze out a worthwhile possession before the half is out, depending on what happens here. Darrell Williams is the back in this three-wide formation against a non-blitzing 3-3-5 for the Cowboys. Off tackle, Williams. Guess wrong. Gets just 2. 2nd and 8. You see an effort here by the Chiefs to get the run game going. 11 carries for the Chiefs against 17 passes. Moderate success. 2nd and 8. Looking past Williams. Nobody's home. 13 yards. Big play for the Chiefs to position themselves up at the Dallas 22-yard line now. KC still holding on to all of its timeouts. Lets the clock run down to 1:07. Stays 3 wide with Edwards-Helaire. End run, Edwards-Helaire. Guessed wrong. Gets 8 yards. 2nd and 2. Does not get out of bounds. I think Kansas City's probably fine with that. With just 14 yards to pay dirt. Get going, hurry up, instead of using the TO. Sort of a moderate stance here by KC. The only thing that KC wants to avoid is a big penalty or a big sack, then especially a penalty. If it stays early downs, you wish you'd have more time. But outside of that scenario, KC does not mind bleeding out a little bit of clock here to help ensure Dallas has a meaningless final possession, if any possession at all. Dallas does not have big backs in terms of long gains. 2nd down 2, flat pass. Nobody's home, but Edwards-Helaire guessed wrong, cannot bring it in. Brings up 3rd and 2, 37 seconds left. Boy, had every opportunity there to convert the first down. If all of a sudden the dice go the wrong way here, Kansas City could be looking at a difficult choice, a field goal attempt, or going for it on 4th. But still, this third down play is ahead of us. So let's see how it turns out. First question is formation. And you see now Kansas City revert to a more run look, too tight, with Bell and Kelsey. Williams is your back. Dallas is going to respond with a blitzing 4-3. Free safety can come into play here. He's a 4 against the run. So he can occupy an 8th man in the box. Off tackle, guessed right. Williams, whose card? It's the Dallas card. 2 yards, first down. Just enough. KC keeps on hitting this +2 on Dallas's off tackle wrong, and most times they're not happy with it, but this time, quite happy with it. Needing those 2 yards on 3rd down makes it 1st and 10 from the 30. So they have a play down to 22 seconds, a play down to 15 seconds, a play down to 8 seconds, and a play down to 1 second. So we've got a bunch of plays to work with here to get 12 yards, 3 wide against 4-2-5. Unlikely he'll need timeouts on all those plays, so he can do all sorts of things. Short pass, Kelsey, 4 men in zone, and it's picked off! Diggs' 3rd interception. No chance of a flag. It's in the end zone, so a touchback can be taken here. But he returns it for a touchdown. Trayvon Diggs, 101 yards. Oh, my word. And no message. Event 19. I'm not sure I've seen that before. But no words even from the scroll to describe that. And just like that, KC has opened it. Dallas, of course, has opened it up. Zerline hits the extra point. I can't even speak. It's 27-7. Dallas in command. 22 seconds left in the half. The return goes 22 yards, a nicely kicked ball to make sure the return happened. That's going to get us down to 15 seconds. And not much time for KC to work with here. They'll go full house. Heartbreak Hotel. Kansas City Chiefs optimistically looking to perhaps take the lead early in the third quarter when they got the ball back here to start the second half. Instead, they're down 27-7. There's a knee for Mahomes, an offside against Dallas. Let's see what that's declined, as Casey just wants to get into the locker room here. And rightfully so. Looking for a knee here to close out the half. We get it from Mahomes. And there's that knee. That'll do it for the half. Are we going to have a break here, or are we continuing on? Let's take a quick look at stats. Dallas seemed to have an extra possession or two. And it just ends up with a small yardage gain, as Kansas City got a bunch of yards for the big pick six. So the decision by Harlan to return it was huge, because if you just get a couple yards there, you're in a tight spot. With the lead, you could definitely make the conservative case, to just take a touchback, go into the locker room, don't risk safety or anything else weird happening. But instead, 5 yards there on first down, as KC opted for the line buck. Would have been 33 yards off tackle. Instead, returns it and gets a huge boost to make it 27-7. Another 4 yards here, another line buck from Everett-Solaire, makes it 3rd and 1. Line buck Mahomes looking to convert the first down. He's going to get 16 yards. Thanks to the boxes, double boxes in this case, up to the 50-yard line. Kansas City doing what it would like to do to open this up on the march here. Linebuck Everett-Solaire going to get 16. Down to the Dallas 34, 1st and 10, 12:36 left here in the third quarter. Chiefs trying to cut into this 27-7 Dallas lead. Looking good so far. Patrick Mahomes throwing the big pick a few times now. Trying to prevent that here. Ooh, guessed right. Everett-Solaire just gets a yard thanks to the one die. It's worth noting, if it was guessed wrong, he'd just gotten 1 yard anyway, so it wasn't a big loss due to the 3-wide formation. On 2nd down and 9, Creed Humphrey makes the block. On the 4 white die, makes it 3rd and 2. Off tackle, guess right this time. Dallas now coming around to it, but you know what? Boxes are there again, and again it's going to be 15 yards, an extra 10 yards for the Chiefs, now down to the 11-yard line. 1st and 10. Three wide formation versus a nickel. Pringles, a short pass, intended receiver, and it's a touchdown for 11 yards. KC comes right back. Gets that touchdown back. That was lost at the end of the half. Bucker on for the extra point. He hits it. Possible penalty offside against Dallas. They'll accept this one on the kickoff again. And instead, they're going to go for two to try to make it a 12-point game. It's a full house formation, facing a blitzing 4-3. Mahomes is keyed. It does not matter. It goes to defensive Carson. Offside against Dallas is why it really doesn't matter. So a nice play call by Harlan is wasted, and he gets a yard. Oh, that's all he needed was a yard because it was half the distance from the two. So there you go, 2-point conversion. 27-15. I was thinking he needed the 2 yards, but just needed the 1. So that makes it a 12-point game. Early in the third quarter, don't know how that's going to shake out or what meaning it might have down the line. Very early. Blocking back formation against this 4-2-5. It's McGovern as your blocking back. Elliott as the halfback. Off tackle Elliott. He's keyed. Gets a yard. Did not have the correct zone covered to result in the key. Instead, it's plus 2 yards. Second down, flat pass. Gets 4 yards. 3rd and 4. Dallas trying to hold on to a little bit of a possession here. Prevent a 3 and out, which would really swing some momentum. You could feel it in Arrowhead here. They can stop Dallas here on this 3rd and medium. Blocking back formation. Obviously no contain here. Options are open for this Dallas offense. Big play call. It's a 4-2-5, not blitzing for KC. Here we go. Dallas is going to think about it some more. And some more. And even more. And even more. Makes you wonder if we have a drop. See all these spectators joining, which is kind of odd. You know, if you're just going to spectate, you just go to the YouTube link and just don't clutter up the broadcast. Line buck to Elliott. Clutter up the game. 5 yards. First down. Gets just what he needs. Up to the 35. Even if you don't like the play-by-play, just mute it and watch the game just the same. 1st and 10 up to the 36-yard line. 9 minutes left third quarter. Too tight with Pollard in the backfield. Up against this 4-2-5. End run. Pollard is guessed wrong. He's going to get 8 big yards. That's what you're looking for on first down if you're the Cowboys. 2nd and 2. At their own 44 now. Stays too tight. Stays with Pollard. And KC stays in the 4-2-5. Long pass. Nobody's home. Cooper's guessed right. Looking for that Kansas City card. Gets it. Possible penalty. It is. Weaved off. Touchdown. Amari Cooper, 56 yards. So we've seen these long pass zero men cards of both of these teams come up in big spots. Kansas City got 76 yards short of a touchdown, scored later. This time Dallas gets 56 yards on the score. Zerline hits the extra point penalty again. Dallas cannot stay onside on extra points. Definite problem there. Definite item for the checklist for practice this week. This one's accepted onto the kickoff. Touchback. Obvious flaw in the game engine there. Those 5 yards prove irrelevant, only if it's not a touchback. In any event, 1st and 10 for Kansas City at the 25-yard line, down 34-15. Great response by the Cowboys. Kansas City sort of had Dallas where they wanted them at a 3rd down on the first series of downs, trying to get it back 3 and out after scoring the touchdown. But a run by the Cowboys for 5 yards kept the drive alive and eventually led to that long touchdown pass. Now 2nd and 6, halfway through 3rd quarter. 34-15, Dallas leads. Kansas City has to muster up the will to reclimb back out of the hole that they've dug themselves here. 6 yards, 1st down. They try to claw their way back into this game. Ever have to remain an optimist. Down 19 points. Only halfway through the 3rd quarter. Make this a 2-score game before you get to the 4th, and you'll feel you'll have a shot. End run, Edwards-Helaire. He just gets 3. I think there's a noticeable amount of running here. And it's been with sort of mixed results, hitting a lot of 6s on the Dallas defensive cards, which is not where the chunky yards are. Converted a big 4th down running. A number of other moderate plays running. I think the long might be 15 if I'm not mistaken. Looking pass. Guess wrong. Gets that run call, but incomplete. So induces the run call and goes flat. If he goes long there, would have had a receiver reading. 1 man deep. Guessed wrong. I don't know that I've seen a Tyreek Hill guessed wrong, long pass, receiver reading all year. Not that I watch every play of Kansas City, but just don't have to recall it. Off tackle, Williams. Short gain, 18 yards. Should be the Dallas 44? Yeah, Dallas 44, 1st and 10. 5:42 now, left 3rd quarter. You mentioned the low amount of running attempts coming into the game for KC. You see Edwards-Helaire now. I think he's hit his first fatigue level. Yep. And he's in the game, and he's running around the end. And he's going to get a yard on his card. Goes down a yard due to the penalty, fatigue penalty, 2nd and 9. Three wide on the 2nd and 9. Long pass. Hill. It's guessed correctly. Incomplete. So high chance of completion, high chance of interception. When you go deep, guessed right 1 man against this Cowboys team. Diggs has all 3 of the Cowboys' interceptions of Patrick Mahomes today. You see the All-Pros slugging it out, and Diggs win that battle so far. Linebuck Williams, he's just going to get a yard on the override. Makes it 4th and 8. The override being that 1 white die in the 3 wide set. Kansas City's going to have to go for it here. 3 wide 4:30 left here on this 4th and 8 against a dime. Darrell Williams is not in the shotgun formation. Parsons, short pass. Nobody coming. It's incomplete. Mahomes cannot complete the pass. Dallas takes over. And that is going to hurt the mental state of the Kansas City Chiefs. Flat pass Pollard. Going to get 14. The 5 white die versus the 4. And into KC territory trying to add to the lead. So 3:36 left. Dallas, if they can pull this out, will climb back to 500. They've come into this game losing 2 straight. Lost to Denver and lost to Atlanta. And my microphone mute button is not working for some reason, so you might see me sneeze here. You can feel it coming. Apologies in advance. Usually can mute those out for you. At the KC 29. And guess right, Pollard gets 5 yards thanks to Zach Martin, 2nd and 5 into scoring territory. So we've seen already the Giants fall to Tampa, and that's reflected in the standings here. And they'll face Philadelphia in a huge game next week, as Dallas can sit by after this win, and they have to go home now, but to face a hot Raiders team. So 2 AFC West games in a row, 17 yards for Pollard down to the KC 7. KC on the verge of giving up 40 points through 3 quarters in this game, although not given up on defense 100%. The offense has given up its share of points here. 3 yards. 2nd and goal from the 4. It's Vegas, then New Orleans. New Orleans is at 4 and 5. Linebacker Elliott, he's keyed to make it 3rd and goal from the 5. And then at Washington, he's going to face all of his NFC East opponents one more time, plus Arizona, which is a pretty well-carded team. Southern beat Seattle yesterday. They seem to be just not quite enough, but you should look at it closely, especially if you have a healthy James Conner. Linebacker Prescott gets wrong. Going to set up a field goal attempt. And Zerloin from 21 is no good. He missed it. 2 through 11. Kansas City has its sort of ears perk up a little bit here. Let's see, 19 points. Can I get 21 and a quarter? Yeah, Casey's capable of that, for sure. Avoid the INTs. There's plenty of completions to be found. Linebucker Williams, so starting out running, going to try to establish that here. I don't know how long that facade is going to last, and I don't know if Dallas is even going to be concerned about it at this point. Let them run might be the thought in Dallas's mind. It's a dangerous thought to have in many, many situations in Strat when you're up 3 scores, 14 minutes left in the game, just to let the opponent run. But in this case, I think it might be one of those times where you're just sort of going to sit back. Short pass, Pringle. 4 men in zone. Defender can't make the play. Plus, we're going to get another 15 on the personal foul. So into Dallas territory goes Kansas City, up to the 47. 13:48 left, 4th quarter. And that's what sort of thing KC's going to have to force the issue on. Linebucks Edwards Hilaire, not going to get you what you need right now. You can play in the flats if you want to. Catch Parsons blitzing, catch an extra double team. But I don't think running's your answer. Short pass, Pringle, not double teamed, gets 13. Up to the Dallas 34. 3 wide. Short pass. Pringle. It's guessed wrong. Boy, he gets a run call here. What can he do with it? And just 3 men in zone. It's a fumble. It's recovered by the Chiefs. Woo. So gets the completion, picks up an additional 8 yards, and it's scored. Touchdown. Patrick Mahomes runs it in. A 31-yard pickup by Pringle on a short pass guessed wrong. He fumbles it. Mahomes picks it up and goes in for the 3 yards for the score. Going for 2. Kelsey. Guessed wrong. Complete. It's 11-point game. 9-point game. 11-point game. 34-23. I'm sorting through the cards here, trying to get a closer look at Pringle's card. So Pringle has a plus 31 on 3 guessed wrong. That's exactly what he hit. It's incomplete guessed right. So the guess or run cost Dallas there. And Mahomes finished it off. And it's just an 11-point game with tons of time. Linebuck Pollard. 2nd and 4. Nice gain on first down. Pollard remains in the backfield. He has 7 carries left until his first fatigue level, so plenty in the tank. Flat pass. Schultz. They got 2 men there. Incomplete. Now we got a 3rd and 4, but penalty goes against the Chiefs, and it's a big one. It fell on the defensive penalty card, so on the Chiefs' own card. They pick up. I have a number 5 penalty on the 7 roll. That's probably what happened there. And just like that, Dallas advances to their own 46-yard. Long pass wrong is incomplete. Looking for the dagger. Nobody back there. Avoids the INT by going to Prescott's card. Instead of the defensive card on 7. 2nd and 10 now. Blocking back formation against the 4-2-5 nickel. Run is guessed wrong. It's complete for 15 yards. Into KC territory up to the 39-yard line. KC searching for a stop. You know, a field goal here is not the end of the world. That knowing it's just an 11-point game right now. Touchdown, however, is a dagger. Linebuck Pollard guessed wrong again. 5 yards. 2nd and 5 up to the KC 34 as the Cowboys move into field goal range, 2 through 5 range at the moment. Too tight with Pollard. 4-2-5 for the Chiefs, not blitzing. 10:48 left, 4th quarter. Off tackle, Pollard guessed wrong. He gets 15 big ones. On the defensive card, hits the 4. It's 2 through 8. And that makes it a 1st and 10 for Dallas inside the Kansas City red zone. Dallas looking to apply the death blow here. Can they do it? Can KC come up with their own red zone turnover to flip the script the way Dallas did at the end of the first half? Linebuck Pollard guessed wrong. 5 yards. 2nd and 5 from the KC 14. Fly pass. Elliott. Incomplete. Possible penalty. It's an offside against Kansas City. That is going to convert. And now it's a first down as a result. KC gives up a key penalty there. Dallas first and goal from the 9. 9:18 left, fourth quarter. Let's see what Dallas does here. I'm curious. Could go either way. Saw that long pass earlier. Might just try to strike it in there. Linebuck Prescott, the opposite of that, goes very conservative, gets 3 yards, and makes it second and goal from the 6. So is that a setup for a short pass here? I did something similar in my game against Pittsburgh this week. Ran linebuck to Herbert on first down, then went deep on second down to Mike Williams and drew a short yardage defensive call. That was with the lead. Turned out to be incomplete. Completed the long pass on the next play. But is that what Dallas has in mind here? Or is it another run? It's another run. This time to Elliott. Guessed wrong. Short gain. That might be a touchdown depending on if there's a flag. No flag. Touchdown. Dallas hits that 40-point number. With 8:24 left in the fourth quarter, Greg Zuerlein, can't say his name for some reason today. The kick is good for Zuerlein, and it's 41-23. Dallas leads. So back to the standings here. Dallas so far has a win over Philly, has a loss to the Giants, and has Washington twice coming up in this bunched up division. Suddenly bunched up thanks to the Giants' loss to the Bucks. First and 10 for KC at their own 25. So edge there over the Eagles to start out as we move to 5-5 here for Dallas. It's anybody's division. It's anybody's division. Incompletion on first down for Mahomes. So Dallas's non-division opponents. He just knocked out a tough one versus KC. Remaining, he has Las Vegas, New Orleans, as you said before, and Arizona. What do the Giants have in non-division? They have Miami, the Chargers, and Chicago. Interesting. I call that even. Washington faced Carolina. I forgot what the result. I thought that result happened last night. Go check that. Also has Seattle, which is a tough spot. 3rd and 3 for KC after a 7-yard run. Vegas as well. And then a bunch of division games down the stretch. Seattle game's a tough one, that's for sure. First, see. Let's go over to the AFC West. Kansas City, if this score holds, they don't seem to be in much of a hurry right now. As the linebuck to Hilaire gets 5. Up to the KC 42. 6:18 left, fourth quarter. KC would fall to 4-7. Be a pretty big loss. Sort of needed this one. Chargers had beaten Dallas earlier in the year, and it sort of represents now, sort of completes a full gain for the league-leading Chargers over KC, sort of on the Dallas factor. Chargers also have a win over the Chiefs. So 4-7 versus LA's 7-3. The thing about it, though, is that none of these teams are particularly good. Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. I mean, that's going to help, undoubtedly. You're not dealing with any juggernauts here. Anybody can run off a bunch of losses among those ahead of the Chiefs here. But sooner or later, you got to start winning games if you're Kansas City. I mean, you can justify it every which way. Long pass is a long gain to Hardman for 42 on Mahomes' card. On 3rd and 4, it's going to bring him down to the 15-yard line. 5:24 left. Down 18 points. Goes 3 wide. End run. Hilaire. Edwards-Hilaire loses a yard. There is a holding call against Kansas City. They'll probably accept that one. They do. 1st and 20 now from the Dallas 25. 5:06 left. But it's like after a while, I mean, you can talk about, okay, Chargers, run defense, blah, blah, blah. Herbert's not as good as he used to be. The Raiders have a bunch of holes as well. Denver, nobody particularly strong on offense. Everybody's sort of good-ish, but no heroes on that team offensively. You can come up with all the reasons why all three of these teams may not be able to hold up, but Casey's just got to have to start winning. And if they do, they'll probably make the playoffs. All it comes down to. Next week is Denver, and that should be 2 weeks from now. So not next week, but I think Casey's heading into a bye here. Yeah, for sure. And here's Tyreek Hill. He'll get a touchdown to make it 41-29. Goes for 24 yards. He hits the Mahomes long gain on 5 twice on this drive. Trying to make it a 10-point game with 4:12 left. So this is important to determine how strong the heartbeat here is of Kansas City. It's a guest right pass to Bell. It's complete. So KC has a little bit stronger heartbeat than they would if it was a 12-point game, that's for sure. Are we going to see an onside kick here? We do. The Cowboys pick it up with 3:54 left. KC, you're probably going to see a use of timeouts here if they're in a position to do so. If they can get some short yardage or negative yardage plays here. Linebuck, Elliott, nobody's there, but it's a loss of 1 guessed right. So let's see if KC uses a timeout. They do not. 3:18 left. Needs 2 scores. Not going to put the eggs in the basket of this first set of downs, despite it being 2nd and 11. Off tackle, Elliott. Nobody's there. 7 yards. Protects the end run zones instead of the off tackle. And that is huge. Well, not that huge, just 2 yards. So instead of 3rd and 4, instead of 3rd and 6, it's 3rd and 4. The game is not on the line here. You're not going to go to a kneel situation here if it's converted, but you're pretty close. Pretty close to the game being on the line. 3rd and 4. Blocking back formation for Dallas. 4-2-5 for KC, not blitzing. Very similar situation to a couple drives ago where Dallas faced a 3rd and 4 after Kansas City scored the opening drive of the second half. That was converted on a 5-yard run up the middle. This time it's Elliott looking for 4. This time he loses a yard. KC is going to let it run or not? Does not. 2:24 left. It's going to buy him an extra play. Here's a punt. The 2-minute warning is between here and not too far from now. So the value of that timeout is a little bit lower than it could be. Coffin corner. It was 63, knocked down to 52. That's right at the goal line. So Kansas City gets the touchback. Interesting. 2:06, 10-point game. 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning to work with. Edwards-Hilaire is your halfback here. Interestingly, I'm not sure what he brings to the table. He does not bring the ability to catch a long pass. He does not bring pass blocking to protect against Parsons. Short pass Pringle. He's double teamed. Pringle's done a lot of damage today. And it's a flush. Looking for a long gain here. Gets a 7-yard gain. Just miss the long gain. Whoa. We hit the 2-minute warning. Oh, my, oh, my. Daryl Williams catches a deep one. Longest of 38, but he's got the dot. I'd like to see him in here, and there he is. McKinnon does not catch one deep. Gore does, including a long game guessed wrong. You're not going to see anything guessed wrong. Long of 50 with no dot, though. Second down 3. Coach Irvin thinking about things. Flat pass, Williams. A man is there, just gets 3 yards, and there's a holding call against Kansas City. That'll be accepted, I'm sure. Make this field as long as you can if you're Dallas. Second down and 13 now from the 17-yard line. I doubt we're going to see any of these run calls coming from Dallas now. And here's 2 men back. Guessed right to Tyreek Hill. Looking for that 5 again. Gets it for 67 yards. He hits the 5 for the 3rd time in the last 3 long passes. He's home, so it's a nice chunky long gain chart. And 67 yards brings KC to the Dallas 16. It was to Kelsey, not to Hill, to Kelsey. A spike by Mahomes. It's 2nd and 10 with 1:37 left from the 16-yard line. Williams is your back, 3 wide against the 3-3-5. Long pass is pretty much out of play here. Flat pass to Harbin. He's double teamed. Gets 6 yards anyway. Got out of bounds. 3rd down and 4. From the 10-yard line. 3 wide. Edwards-Helaire is back. I not expect a run here. Not sure what he's doing in there. Short pass to Edwards-Helaire. Trying to catch that short pass. Can he do it? From 10 yards out. Mahomes is flushed. 23 yards, touchdown, Travis Kelce. 41-37. Bucker on for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. 41-38. Here's the onside kick. This is what KC needs. Can they get it? Can they turn their season around right here? Yes! The Chiefs recover! Melvin Ingram on the ball. KC has it at the Dallas 48, 107 left. Looking for overtime or more. Three wide formation. Daryl Williams in the backfield. Long pass Kelce. One man is back there. INT looms. There it is. Possible penalty, though. Hold on, everybody. Let's see. Do we see a penalty or is it a pick? It is a pick. Mahomes' 4th interception of the day. This time, not by Trayvon Diggs. And that will end the game. Unless it's a mandatory penalty. Yeah, so we're still looking. Unless there's the rare, of course, QB taking a fumble. And there's one. And another. You know, it goes back to what we were saying before as we were looking at the standings under the assumption of a Dallas win here. You know, it's if this was earlier in the season, if you're KC, you might say, all right, yay, you know, it came back. I'm glad we fought. But I imagine what Tim's going to say is, you know, no, need a win here. You know, just need a win. Moral victories aren't an option at this stage. And SKC will fall after this fourth down play with 1 second left. To fall to 4 and 7. There it is. I'm going to write a quick note to the coaches here. Stand by while I do that. Okay, that note is out. And we'll see if we get the joiner here. While we wait on that prospect, looks like Tim's coming in. Expect to see KC have more yards after that outburst of long passes. Yeah, 531 yards. Holmes is chucking it on that 5. Up with 371 yards. Maybe 170 of them on those 3 plays. Those 3 deep balls. Ends up with an 85 rating despite the fact he threw 4 interceptions today. Now you can, it comes down to a 3-point game. It just point anywhere. You're going to point right here for the Chiefs. The interception. I think that one was on the defensive card too. No, this was a double team. Oh, too many interceptions to remember them all. So I'm not sure. Nobody fumbled. So Dallas stayed clean in terms of turnovers, as Tim will join us now. I think. Hey, Tim.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine now. Thanks.
Great. All right. Well, hey, I was saying before you joined that, at this point in the season, there's no moral victories, right?
Of course.
Come back.
Of course, hey, when you've already got 6 losses, there's no such thing as a moral victory. Give me a break.
Yeah. Yep.
I literally laughed, yelled angrily, and cried during that game. All in the same game. Crazy. And I always knew after 3 interceptions in the first half, number 4 is coming. And the whole time I kept thinking, I'm staying close. I'm saying, when is number 4? Knock, knock. When is number 4 coming?
That 2 through 11 is intimidating. It just is, and it's there, and that's it loomed. I mean, I think on the broadcast mentioned it going into it, right?
Yeah,
lots of completions, lots of interceptions here. Where's it going to fall?
Let me just say also, when maybe somebody out there will identify that with this, but when you're struggling and you're struggling and you feel desperate and you try different things, sometimes in trying different things, like I didn't know until that interception happened that it was 2 through 11 on the defensive card. And you saw me throwing that deep a lot. And that's pretty irresponsible as a head coach to take that lack of knowledge into a game, I guess. But I was trying not to. I mean, I guess I'm just trying different things. And at the time that I threw that long pass, not to jump to that, but at the time I threw it, I just sort of felt like with the time that was left and the timeout that I had, I didn't think he would expect a long pass at that moment. And I thought, if I can sneak this one in now, I have a chance to win this. And he would maybe be thinking, I'm just going to go for 10, 15. I'm on the doorstep of the field goal to tie this game. And I figured that he would be thinking that I am so desperate to, holy shit, just tie this game, that I would be a lot less aggressive in that moment. And so, yeah, that was why I took the risk. And I can't even remember. My mind is so free. I can't remember if he called run or pass at that moment on that long pass.
Pass.
He
Hmm.
did call pass? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
But
And
yeah, hitting that
yeah,
interception's hilarious. So
I think after that short pass run call where Pringle got the 31-yard gain and Mahomes ran it in. I think at that point he was done going against the grain on the prevent defense, right? I mean, because Pringle was incompletion on 3, guessed right, plus 31 wrong. So I don't know that he called the run one more time after that.
the funniest part to me right now that I keep laughing about is I'm thinking, poor Harlan. He's trying to figure out defensively what I'm doing offensively in that second half, and I'm all over the place. For opening drive, I'm running like 15 times in a row
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Hilaire, and then I'm running, but I'll sneak a long pass. I just, I don't know,
So you
crazy.
did try to run more today. I mean, that was noticeable as you certainly got to the second and third quarter anyway. Talk about that. Was that true? And what was the thought?
I would say that I did not try to run more today until the second half, and I'm gonna be honest with you that when I was running in the second half, again, I don't know that it was. I can't really say, "Oh, I'm gonna schematically try to." It was really more about I was gonna schematically just start going with exactly what I think. Period in that second half, and that's why I
You
was
think what? I'm sorry, cut out. You think?
go with what the opposite of what the defense is going to call.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Not
Mhm.
settle for passing on right. And if
Uh-huh.
he's going to call pass, I'm going to run it 15 times for the reasons that really it was less about winning the game. I'm going to be honest at that point. Once I had that interception in the end zone in the first half, I was really more about what can I learn from the rest of this game?
Mm,
And I was wanting to get some carries in there really for Hilaire to kind of help open up Darrell Williams for me later in the season if I still have some miracle chance to get back in it.
mhm,
So I was trying to burn through a bunch of Alaire carries, and then of
mm,
course he got me back in the game a little bit, and
mhm,
and so then I started mixing it up, but that's why my offensive game planning was all over the place in the second half. I didn't really know
mhm.
what I was trying to accomplish depending on the varying scores and twists and turns.
Well, I mean, it turned out that it yielded a couple key run calls. It did. I mean, you got a few, which was nice. From the D. I mean, um,
Yeah, I
which is
guess I did. That's
effective.
right.
Yeah. Mhm,
That's yeah, with trailing like I was in the second half, that's tough to get. But credit Harlan. He's always going to play it straight, and he knows what he's doing. So he mixed him in there. But uh,
Tell me your thoughts on defensive calls today. I mean, the defense, I would not say was a failure today by any stretch. It was sort of a ho hum game, wouldn't you say?
do you mean
Couldn't
my
get it.
defense? My
Your
defense was
defense, yep, yeah.
atrocious. I thought my
You
defense was
thought
pretty
so?
atrocious. Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Third down, 40%. Not good, not bad, compared to 73 that you did on offense. Um, Held them to one
That's
of three on fourth down.
insane.
Um, Prescott had a really nice rating, of course, because he didn't get a pick. Um,
But again, 4 turnovers to 0. This is the
yeah. Oh,
story
yeah.
of
Well,
what
there
I've
you
been
go.
dealing
Yeah.
with, and I know I was telling you that, it feels like every game, the opening drive is about, are they gonna immediately or am I gonna throw an interception immediately? That's kinda where it's been, and I didn't get the interception this time till the second drive, but still I had 3 picks in the first half. The second quarter with, like, 13 minutes left, I get this bomb to Tyreek Hill that
Hmm.
kinda got me back into the game,
Yeah.
but at that moment, it was like, well, this is what I've been dealing with all year. Somehow, in the first quarter of every game, I'm getting off to a terrible start, and I'm always digging out of that hole, always digging out of that hole,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I've still gotta figure that out, and I'm not there yet,
You
clearly.
got an effective turnover on his missed fourth down that you call guess right on Elliott's line buck inside the 5, and then that's where you turned it around. 98-yard drive with a 76-yard pass to Hill, and it was interesting on those two drives. I mean, both of you guys are at point .9 men in zone long pass on average on defense, up toward the top of the league.
Oh, I
He
don't
you,
vacate it
you
very much, yeah.
yeah, you caught him no men, rolled
Yeah.
the 11 or 12, long gain for 76 on the defensive card. And then he came back on the next drive and caught you no men and hit the whatever it was, 56-yard touchdown. I think that's what it was, right?
Cooper, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So you both caught each other long past no men and paid the price.
We both have just terrible card on zero men, so it's not surprising that we're among the top in keeping a man deep. So,
Yep. Yep.
um, yeah.
Well, any other thoughts on this one?
Nothing much other than I called run more defensively this time. I know I looked and saw that on 1st and 10, he's going to run it over 50% of the time. So I tried to mix that in a lot. I definitely called a lot more run. Um, but somehow I've got to figure out how Mahomes has 21 interceptions right now. Uh, because as I'm looking at everything, that's it. I mean that's the stat. That's the reason a Super Bowl caliber carded team, if you believe that, and I do. I'm not trying to say I don't. Is struggling. Is Mahomes is a guy that's going to get maybe 10, 12 interceptions in a year. I don't know what he's carded for, but to throw 21 already, uh, I don't know if I'm stubbornly throwing on passing on right more often, or maybe I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But until I can get my interception rate down with him, the second half, even though I'm coming back, I keep thinking I don't want to pass because I just feel feel like he's unplayable. I'm playing Mahomes, and I feel like I've got some backup because I just have the confidence as though I'm playing with somebody that's definitely not Mahomes these days.
Yeah, 4.9% versus 2.0%
Yeah.
in
So what
real
is that?
life.
Two and a half times the interception rate.
And then we'll take a
And,
look
and,
at we talked about this a little bit, the Stratomatic report, and sitting on an 85, it's elevated, 85% clip. It's not, there's a 90 out there that we talked to. There's, at least one team had a 90 that we saw. But
Yep.
typically you're going to be 80, 81, 82. 85 is not the end of the world. It's not a huge outlier, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
The other
so,
thing is I feel like every game, one of my picks is on the double team. That I will hit that
mhm,
11.
mhm,
If you double team me enough, it's a matter of time. I'm going to hit that 11. And I can remember double teaming, being so excited. I double teamed CD Lamb on, I think it was a 3rd and 10. Might have been
mhm,
a 4th down, but I was ready to get off the field on a double team of CD Lamb, and sure enough, he hits the double team reception on Dak's card, and I'm like,
mm,
just those things are killing me right now, and yeah, I've got to get that turnover ratio down, and this game, why am I scared to pass with Mahomes? But I am, and as a flat pass, I've got those yak ratings, but I look at everybody's flat pass card as a quarterback. It just feels like they're so much better,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We messed up here. Okay.
huh?
You're at a huge number. I was looking at defense. You're at 95% guessed right passing.
Yeah,
There's your reason. There's your picks. We said it was 83.
yeah,
That's your
I
defense.
remember that. I remember that.
Offense is at 95. Okay. So, sorry to interrupt you, but that's
No,
just a
don't be,
headline.
please.
Yeah, that there. I mean, that's a headline number. That is an outlandish number. That is a sort of number that can land you, you know, well above well above in real life performance.
All right.
95.
Well,
Yep.
let's
Yep.
go ahead and go on record. And it's okay. Let's just
Yep.
say it for everybody to watch and see. If you're on my schedule, plan for this. I'm bringing the run game. I'm bringing the
Yeah.
run game.
Yeah.
What have I got to lose?
Yep.
Clearly, I have to assume a number like that, being an outlier as you're laying it out, uh, suggests that there's almost no way to not conclude that I've misplayed that at some level. I must have been misplaying. I have to tell you though, just
You've gotten 25 guest wrong
without
opportunities all year. Sorry, go ahead.
without seeing
Incredible.
without seeing this number being put in my face, I don't feel like I've called any different or played any different than I did any of these years before, which makes me ask the question. And I'm just asking you now. I hate to do this in front of everybody, guys, workshop this, but I'm kind of curious. Are people just because of Mahomes calling pass at a higher rate? I mean, what you showed there is the percentage that they get that I get caught on right. What's the percentage that they're calling pass against me? Is nobody ever calling run by comparison? Is kind of what I'd be curious because I don't feel
Against
like
you,
I'm
yeah,
calling
I
a
can't figure
ratio
that
that's
out.
different. I don't feel like I'm
Let's
calling a
see.
ratio that's different from years past. But maybe I need to change
So
that ratio if people are just saying you can
people
run
have
all day
called
with these
run
running
against
backs?
you. People have called run against you a grand total of 55 times this year. Is
Wow,
that right?
55. Yeah,
You take
so
the
I'm
guess you take the guessed right runs right here. You take this number. They've obviously called run in that situation, and then
that's
you take the
5 times
difference.
a game.
Then you take the difference between 456 and 431. Okay, and that'll give you the number of runs called. So 55 times out of 678 plays. So
It's
that is
five
a
times a
percent.
game.
Yeah, that's an
11 games is 5 times a game.
81% pass clip. Sorry,
80.
92%. 92%
Yeah.
pass
So
clip. Now,
92% of the time they're going to say run all the hell you want. What I'm curious though is is that number an outlier
okay, so
compared to the rest of the
I'll
league?
give you some
And there's
examples.
probably no way to find that without looking at all
Oh, I can
32
do it
games.
for you.
Oh,
Stand by.
really? Oh
So
shit.
on defense, you call
Anthony
run.
is amazing, everybody, by the way. Go ahead, Anthony.
On defense, you call run 20% of the time. Okay,
Okay.
so 8% is the world versus you. You call 20%.
But I call
I
run less, right? Go ahead.
I call run 23% of the time
Defensively.
defensively.
Okay, so we're
Denver
similar.
calls run 26% of the time.
Okay.
Carlin calls run 32% of the time.
In his division, that's probably more necessary too.
Yeah, and the Raiders call run 19% of the time. So you can see your 8% is
Yeah.
definitely a outlier, right?
But I
People are
guess
going
what I
out
was
of their
asking
way.
But what I was asking is the defenses that play against me, you're saying that they call run against me 92% of the time, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly. While we are calling against the rest of the league 70 to 80% of the time.
So is there another team over 90%? Like what percentage do teams call run against you?
Uh, Against me, percent called run against me. Let's see here. My guest run. I have a little bit different. My guest right pass percentage is at 83%. So it's not precisely answering your question, okay? But I'm right there at the higher ends of the midpoint at 83. So you're going to typically going to find it 80,
But that's
81,
how many
82.
times but that's the percentage that they are right on you
Right. Yes,
calling pass.
I don't have the percentage of time that opponent calls run. I can quickly do it just like we did it for you here. Hold on.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing you
Deploy.
say if I'm hearing you right is that if I'm on offense and I'm calling an offensive play, 92% of the time, my opponent is going to call pass. What I'd like to know, maybe I can look at that from last year. I'd just like to know if that compares, how that compares to last year, if that number, because the reason I'm asking that is if people call run pass against me 100% of the time, well then they're going to have 100% rate of when I call pass, it's going to be guessed right. So
79% for the Chargers. 79% of the time, the opponents. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
nope, that's
Good point you made.
perfect. So they
Yeah.
call run against you 70. So what I'm curious is if people call pass against me 92% of the time, is anybody else getting it over 90, over 88, over 85? And is that an outlier? It could be that people
I
are
would
just
imagine Tampa's up there with you, based on a little work I did on Tampa. Let's
uh,
take a look at that.
I'm also I'll have to
NFL.
do some we maybe need to I'll leave it to your judgment too. Maybe we need to terminate the broadcast. Maybe this is boring people. I need to workshop a lot of this because I need to figure out because I think like Fournette, I think he has some breakaway runs. I wonder if people part of the reason they're not going to ever call run against me is there is no home run threat. There's no way I'm going to bust a 40-yarder. There's no way, unless I've got Derek Gore in the game who's not going to be in there very much. So it's not just that I don't have necessarily great runners, but you don't worry about the breakaway run.
Yeah, I mean, 87% for
Oh,
Tampa.
so people are
Okay,
calling run against them. I'm sorry, pass against them 87% of the time.
compared to 92 for you. Yeah. So I figured they would be the one that would get
Yeah.
close.
And I know Vince is telling me that his stats are showing he's getting a ridiculous amount of interceptions for Tom Brady the way I am Mahomes. So maybe we're both just needing to, get into the workshop and run more. I don't know. I'll have to look at him too. Maybe I can
Hmm.
learn something from looking at his stuff too, since I know he's kind of struggling with his quarterback as well. So,
Hmm.
all right, well, we can terminate that. Listen, that was great feedback and good stuff to hear. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm 4-7, and I'm not out of it. I don't care what anybody says. I'm still not
Win
out
your
of it.
games. Just
But
win, right? Just win, baby. I
yeah,
mean, if you win your
just
games,
win.
you'll be in. I mean, you're still
Normally, I
very
think you
much.
could be out of it, but with the carded team like it is, and more importantly, the state of the
Yeah.
AFC
Yeah.
playoff race, there's not a lot of winning teams, and so whatever. Keep digging. That's all you can do, man. Keep digging.
Right on. Right on. Thanks for
Thanks
coming
for
on
covering the
the
game today.
Sure thing.
Appreciate
Thanks
it,
for
man.
coming on the broadcast.
And
We'll put this
congratulations
game
to
to
Harlan.
you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have a final here from Kansas City. Dallas pulls it out 41-38, holding on to a big lead throughout most of the game. But Dallas prevails, and we might have another broadcast this week. If so, we'll see you then. Appreciate you watching today. Have a wonderful day, everybody.